now bind to default color and maybe set this to yellow. Should be a string though, yellow. And we can bind to highlight color and pass a string which could be red. And now if we save this, notice that app better highlight, the directives itself, the name, is not enclosed in squared brackets. Now you see it's red and yellow here. Though we also detect a bug, initially before we mouse over, it's white. The reason for this is when we assign default color here, it's just not set here. So to prevent this from happening, what we can simply do is we initialize it here in ng-on-init instead. That's also before anything has been rendered, but after our values here are available. So here we can set this background color to this default color, and now it should work fine. Now we have yellow by default. So this now works, and now we are able to override this. There are a couple of interesting things we can observe regarding the way we pass down these values though. The first interesting thing is that we have two extra directive-like looking things on the paragraph. And this is just property binding. Now, how does Angular know if we want to bind to a property of paragraph, which of course doesn't have a default color, or to a property of our directive? The answer is it just figures that out. It simply checks our own directives and so on first before it reaches the the native properties of elements. That's another important takeaway. We can bind to properties of our own directives by simply placing them on the same element. These properties, I mean, enclosed in square brackets, of course. Now, for ng class, you see that somehow the directive itself is enclosed in square brackets.